He has a...
Oh my God. It's a great day to be alive, baby. And there's this little girl. It was pretty funny. Like the lights were shining like down, like, you know, in the parking lot. And this little girl's walking, like holding her parents' hand. And I like turned, and that glare from off my wheel caught, and she was staring at him. Dude, she was just walking straight and just like does one of these motions because that like how bright it was, it blinded her. It was pretty funny. I laughed.
Imagine if they just polished.
I know. Would have killed her.
His toes actually hanging out.
I had a flashlight in it yesterday.
Yeah, he was sitting there.
I can fix mine.
He was sitting there on the ground last night, had his shoe up like this, and I was like, what the hell's sticking out of his toe? He had his flashlight shoved in the end of his shoe, chilling there. I was like, Josh, it's like, is your flashlight in your shoe right now? He goes, yeah.
We have Bill Ross's truck here. He was having some transmission issues after a new build that we had done. It is anteater controlled. It's an 89 that he put a 12 valve. It's got a P pump, 13 mil pump on it. It's got 2 kits of nitrous. It's got water injection. It's got compounds on it. It's a pretty rowdy truck. It's a 2-wheel drive truck. It's a lot of fun to drive, but he's here getting some issues figured out with the transmission, and we're having a lot of fun with it.
Today we've got Mike Payne's truck on the dyno. This is a 2006 truck that has a 6.7 long block swapped into it. He basically took a 6.7 short block, did QSB pistons, Carrillo rods, and a D&J stage 1 head. This has a Firepunk Comp 2 transmission and a Exergy 150% over injectors, 2 stock pumps, a small twin setup. He was on the dyno back in 2017, did a little over 1,000 horsepower with a single 475, and now he has a 362 68 10 T4 on the manifold with a 472 87 125 T4 on the atmosphere. So it's a very quick spooling, fun driving setup, but we're going to see what kind of peak power it can support, because obviously the turbine side is going to be our limiting factor on what it is. But otherwise, it's going to be a well-rounded street truck. We're going to see what it makes today, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got Mike Payne's truck all wrapped up. It did 1,047 and 1683 torque on the max effort tune. We had pretty much come up against the window of what the turbos are capable of, but for a 362 and a 472 with an 87 turbine, it's a pretty good number. Very, very drivable with the 6.7 bottom end and the small compound setup. It spools instantly. So it'll be a very fun street truck. I'm sure it'll rip the tires off with ease because of how much torque it makes. Tune 4 did 1,005 horsepower, Tune 3 did 937, then Tune 2 and 1 we turned way down. Tune 1 we turned down to 1,000 microseconds, took 10 degrees of timing out of it, did 485 horsepower on Tune 1. So you got a really wide power window that if you want to turn it up, turn it down, or turn it down, let your friends drive. If you don't trust them, you can do that too. So look forward to getting this thing off the dyno and sending them on the way.
Hey guys, so a little bit of a recap, kind of our plans, what happened to Charity Case down in Florida. So basically we, at Shides, you obviously know that we broke the snap pinion shaft in half. Well, ended up fixing it, put new parts in it, thought everything was good, drove down the road, did a couple hits, everything seemed fine. Went down to Florida on our long drive down there and made one pass, went 6-0, just had a small issue with it shifting, so thought we had everything figured out for Q2, went up and did my burnout. Came up and let off the button and I didn't go maybe 15, 20 foot. I heard that free revved and then the drive shaft came apart. So basically we knew it was a weak link, you know, in the truck itself, but we figured we'd be able to get by with it just for a couple more events. But turns out that was not the case. So as much as I wanted to make Rowdy's for this fall, it's just not gonna happen. I want to fix it right. I don't want to be putting oil down on the track. Like we had probably a 40-minute cleanup down at Ryan's place, and I felt bad about that. Nobody likes ever doing that, but it is what it is. So we know the issue now. So basically, I guess some things that we're going to do to the truck for next year. We are going to, for one, it is just going to get cut. It's going to get cut in half. We are going to do a a 2 back half, kind of somewhat based off the Pro Mod. We're going to slam the truck all the way on the ground, so it sits really low. We're going to do, so the back half, we're going to do a 9-inch, full floater, 40 spline axles, just the whole 9 yards. So we are not going to have that issue with, a drive line anymore. So that's kind of some of the big things. We're going to do like a single strut style front end. So, obviously it's 2-wheel drive. So we are going to do a single strut with a single lower A-arm style front end, so we can set the truck a lot lower, just because we want it to sit really low, and that way we also lose a bunch of weight up front, since we're going to keep the stock half of the frame, because with being still 590, we're not going to run Pro Street, nothing like that. We've already been down that road and had our fun with that, so we'll leave that up to Josh and let him have his fun. But so we're going to do that with this. We might put an alternator back on it. Bed wise, we're going to end up doing kind of like we've done a couple of the trucks in the past. We're going to take a stock factory bed, cut everything out of it, and put a bed cover on it. So basically the truck is going to be something, it's going to run 590 still. That's the overall goal with it, to run ODSS points wise. But we're going to do some no time stuff with it, possibly some small tire stuff. We can figure stuff out with it, but we just want a cool truck that we're going to put a second seat in it too. So customers come to the shop and they want to know what 15, 16, 1700 horsepower feels like on the road, then we can give them a ride. So that's it already, it still has VIN tag and everything. So we're gonna, register it and put insurance on it, and it's gonna be just a toy that we're gonna have. So that is kind of narrowed down basically everything that we're gonna do this winter. There's gonna be some more stuff. We talked about Turbo 400 things, but it's kind of also price wise, because buying new wheels and tires and back half, shop, just everything. So that is at least the goal for right now, and that is the plan that we're gonna run with. So yeah, that's basically it. I'll at least make it to Rowdy still, but I'll be racing, do more drinking and hanging out than anything, but that's about it.
Today we've got Dustin LeBlanc here. He is the buyer of our dyno. We replaced this with a Daytona model. It's a little bigger chassis this spring, and he's going to be buying this dyno and taking it back to Texas. So he's from Underground Diesel. He runs the shop down there. So if you guys are in the Texas area and you're looking for dyno tuning, he's going to be doing having a dyno in-house, and he'll be we're doing some learning stuff on the tuning side of things. So he's wanting to be able to offer some different tuning platforms for his customers. Some of the advanced stuff he's probably going to work with us on. But today we wanted to take him and show him what each step-by-step change makes in tuning. So we took Cody's 06 Mega Cab. This is a completely stock truck with Exergy 50 horsepower injectors. We ran it with a completely stock tune file. It did 342 horsepower, and you can kind of see it had a wavy power curve. It just basically follows the stock timing table. So then we took the tune file, increased all the limiters so we didn't have any defueling, and we added only timing. And just by adding timing, we went from 342 horsepower to 409 horsepower. And then we take that same timing table and just added rail pressure, going from the factory 23,000 rail pressure commanded to 26,000, and it did 440 horsepower. And then we took that same tune and added from stock pulse width, which is 1890 microseconds, and went from that to 2200 microseconds, and then it made 484 horsepower. So this is a good way of showing step by step what each change in the tuning process makes, and how it changes with exhaust gas temperatures, how you can increase your efficiency along with increasing your horsepower. So it's kind of fun to kind of go back to the basics and start the learning process from the basics again. But we're going to turn the fuel up now and see what kind of power we can make with it.
Don't videotape me right now. I'm in a very specific spot. You're gonna see somebody mad. Just like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. I'm dropping things.
With your camera.
Hold up, just let off real quick. I need to switch this. I need to turn the center section anyways.
The quad cab. How did it still kind of smell?
So today we have Red's first in here, and it is getting a set of compound turbos. It's getting a Tater-built, stock appearing 62, 67, and it's getting a 77. Hey guys, so a little update with our first gen project we have here. basically he is going to drive this truck all over the country. He's a pipeliner and wants to pull his like 50-foot camper with it. So he had a stock little HX35 on it and kind of figured that was not going to work for what he was wanting to do. So ended up, we wanted to kind of build something that maybe, I guess, a little different, something that's going to spool like really easy, something that's street friendly, low EGTs, just nothing. He doesn't want a lot of power. He just wants something that's reliable, comes on boost easy, you know, pulls up mountains, you know, everything like that. So we ended up going with a Tater-built, a 62, 67 or 63, 67. It's a waist-gated charger, so it's going to be a little bit more street friendly. So that is going to be the manifold charger, and then we actually have a On3 Performance. It's a 77 millimeter for the atmosphere, and it's going to just, you know, it's a cast wheel. It's a relatively cheaper turbo, but they work really good. We have put them on a lot of other trucks. So that's what we're going to do on this one. With it being a first gen, there's a couple, you know, just odd and end things that we're doing. It's actually going to have, since the pumpkin on the front drive shaft is actually on the passenger side and not on the driver's side, like, you know, all third gens and fourth gens and all that stuff is, we actually have to build a crossover pipe to do his exhaust and, you know, just small stuff like that, but nothing crazy. So we're going to do the hot pipe today, charge air, and hopefully get a good jump on everything. Waiting on a couple small flanges and stuff, but hopefully to have it done here in another couple days.
All right, we have Mike Conklin's 2005 automatic truck. Has a full manual valve body. I brought it here to get the truck dialed in and see what kind of power we can make. He has 450% S&S injectors, dual 12mm CP3s, and a 476-106 compound setup. Has a D&J stage 2 head, Wagler rods, Gorilla girdle, 14mm mains, and 14mm head studs. So he has the necessities to hold the kind of power that this truck should make. So we'll flash a tune in it and go from there.
Broke the
wheel
shaft.
or broke the shaft?
The shaft. Yeah, the shaft.
It's- It don't move, kind of backwards. Yeah, see, it moves now. Yeah, that's not good.
All right, we flashed a tune into Mike's truck and we calibrated the truck to the dyno and everything was good. So I went to make a run, and about 1.5, maybe 2 seconds into the dyno run, we had a turbo failure. So kind of ended our day there. It did make 1390 and 1828 foot-pounds of torque. So with the graph still going up, so it's gonna make good numbers if we could get a turbo to live. So he has a dyno local to him that he might throw the truck on and play around with and see what kind of power we can make. But for today we're done, and so I'll get him off the dyno and send him on the way.